Welcome to the Daily Plunge. We're in Isaiah chapter 66, verses 17 through 24. These are the last paragraphs, last sentences of the book of prophecy. Now, it starts off by saying, those who consecrate and purify themselves in the secret gardens. And this is a reference about how the people of God, the Israelites, were worshiping nature, how they were giving themselves over to fertility gods. And the Lord says, just because you consecrate yourself to these false gods isn't any different than if you engaged in eating unclean food or engaged in unclean behavior. It all has the same results. Now, there's an interlude. We jump down to verse 24, and he says, and they who have worshiped other gods, who have rejected the Lord, there is an eternal consequence for the obstinate, consistent, persistent rejection of God. And to decide to rebel against God and to live without God means that you're not going to have God's peace. You're rejecting it. And so instead of being relieved from the parasites of this world, you will be eaten forever by those parasites, those worms. And these internal worms won't be cleansed from you. They're going to just feast on you. And so you think about what burns you up right now, that when you don't give it to God, it just burns you up more. When we don't give it to God, we never enter his rest. And that's the point. There is an eternal Sabbath, an eternal rest that God invites us to. But if we reject God, we're not going to enjoy that. Now, the Lord says, and because of what they've done, because they have not sought me, I'm about to come. And I'm going to gather people from every nation, every tribe, every tongue, and is the language of the book of Revelation, and they will see the glory of the Lord. I'm going to set a sign among them. Well, what's that sign that the prophet Isaiah has spoken about? It's the very same sign that Jesus speaks about in John chapter 3 and in John chapter 12. He says that when I am lifted up from the earth on the cross, I will draw all people to myself. And so he brings people from all these disparate nations, all these people that were thought of not belonging to God. They're going to come and they're going to be gathered together. And they will be raised up with the Lord, and they will proclaim his glory and his victory. And what is the glory and victory of the Messiah? It is the cross. It is the resurrection. And he says, I will send survivors from all these nations to my holy mountain, to my place of gathering them together. And it says that they will bring them as an offering. They will be brought as an offering. Now, you think about the offering we give of our tithe, God doesn't want 10% of you. You have been bought and paid for because you've been created and redeemed by God. He wants 100% of you. And so he says, they will be brought, just like vessels of offering, they're going to be brought clean to the Lord. And some of them will be lifted up as priests, and they will... And there will be a new heaven and a new earth between me and these people. I will be their God. They will be my people. And they will bow to me. They will genuflect. They will honor me and come into my rest, into my kingdom. And that's the promise that we have, that when we live with God, we have unity, we have community, and we have peace, and we have rest. Thank you, my friends. That's the promise of the book of Isaiah.